Hello. My commemorative speech is about Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was born Armida Rose in March the year 1822. Her exact birth date is we're unsure of. It wasn't recorded. Harriet was born into slavery in Dorchester, Maryland. She was one of 9 children. Harriet had a violent daily life coming up as a slave in Dorchester, Maryland. And many of those scars and hardships that she went through stuck with her through life. Harriet Tubman actually was encountered by a slave owner coming back from running an errand for her master, and the slave owner wanted her to help her restrain a runaway slave. When Harriet refused to help restrain the runaway slave, the slave owner then threw a large brick of concrete at her head, which caused her to have dizzy spells, seizures, fainting. And after this encounter with the slave owner, Harriet said that this made her have visions into the future of what she was supposed to do with her life. These visions included her being a free woman. Harriet had 9 sisters and brothers, and the older they got, many of them started to be sold to different plantation owners in Georgia. This saddened Harriet's mother a great deal. After going through all of these things, Harriet decided to escape to freedom in 1849. When Harriet initially left to go to freedom, she was accompanied by her 2 brothers, Harry and Ben. Once Harry and Ben found out there was a reward given for $300 for her return to the plantation, they got discouraged and decided to go back, which Harriet accompanied them, and then she began her long 90-mile journey to Philadelphia. Once in Philadelphia, when Harriet found freedom, she didn't feel right about having this freedom without her family. So on her way to freedom, Harriet took a route through the Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad is a route in safe houses that African Americans use to go to free states. This is how Harriet learned of the Underground Railroad. Once Harriet decided to go back to get her family, she first got her niece and her 2 children because they were going to be sold away from their family. So Harriet Tubman's family sent word about this. Harriet decided not only to go back and get her niece and her 2 children, but to get her entire family. Through this process, Harriet had to go back over 90 times through the Underground Railroad, not only to free her family, but to free other enslaved African Americans. And you would think her accomplishments of going through the Underground Railroads would be enough. But then they passed a law that all the slaves that escaped to the North would be brought back to their owners if found in the North. So Harriet, being a conductor on the Underground Railroad, decided to make a new path to Canada. And Canada didn't tolerate slavery at all. So she knew that they would be safe there. So then Harriet started not only going to free countries, but to Canada as well. But she didn't stop yet. During the Civil War, Harriet decided to join the Civil War and be a nurse. And not only was she a nurse, she led 700 men, being the first woman to do so ever in history. And this happened in South Carolina. Once Harriet accomplished all of these great things, she decided to settle down in Albany, New York. Once she settled there, her friends and family came to live with her, and she spent the rest of her days helping runaway slaves get settled, helping Black African American people who didn't have a way, helping them have things, get jobs, have some place to live for their family. Harriet was a great and wonderful woman. She was brave, she was intelligent, and she did many things that a lot of people couldn't do today. She definitely broke down barriers for women and the African American race. Harriet Tubman died on March 10th, 1903 at the age of 93 from pneumonia. Harriet was surrounded by all of her friends and family, and she was felt love, and she felt love, and she was in a warm, great environment. As I wrote this speech about Harriet Tubman, it made me realize where we would be without her. Even these days and times, I don't feel that a lot of African Americans would have had the bravery to do some of the things that she had to do if she didn't set the path. Harriet Tubman is truly a great role model and hero for all African American people. Thank you.